Let's start with talking about what is Kami. Kami is a digital classroom app. It allows you to take any existing document you currently have, scanned PDFs, or even hard copy PDFs that you can then scan. And then from there, you or your students can write, draw, type, annotate, comment, augment, enhance with video or other sounds or other images. You just bring it to life all within your browser. So it has a lot of collaborative features as well that helps you work with your students or students with students or teachers with teachers all at the same time. It's kind of like a digital pen and paper where students can learn, create, collaborate together in their own time. So you can give students documents and then they can use all these Kami tools on them. They can add images, they can add videos. You can share things in Google Classroom. And when you do that, you can even limit the amount of things kids can do. So let's say you don't want them to use the text to speech where it reads to them. You can take that away. You can present just a plain blank page and make it a digital whiteboard so kids can see what you're doing on the Kami in real time. It's also integrated with Google Classroom, so it makes it really easy to use. The kids in Homer all have the extension forced onto their Chrome, so you don't have to worry about them not having it. Teachers will have to install that, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. So let's jump into Kami. The first step to using Kami is making sure you have the extension installed. To check, you can look up here in the top right corner. You can see I have the blue K. If you don't see the Kami extension there, the next place to check is on the puzzle piece, and then from there you can scroll down to see if you have it. If you have it, where'd it go? There it is. Well, if you have it and you want it to appear up on that Chrome, up on the Chrome line here, you just make sure that blue pin is blue by clicking on it. Blue, click on it. Okay, and then once it's blue, that means it'll stay up there. Now, if you don't have Kami and Air extensions currently, you may have to add it. What we're looking at right now is the Kami extension for Google Chrome. You can Google it on the Chrome Web Store. I'll also have a link for you in my how-to. Make sure you have the right one because there are a couple that look the same or that sound the same but aren't. So once you install it, you'll have to go through and enable some things like Google Drive, and then you're going to have to log in. So at our district, you're going to log in with Google, accept the user that you're going to be using. And from there, this is the Kami main page, your jumping off point. So here we go. Now that I have Kami installed, there's a couple ways to start using it. I'm going to start by using a scanned PDF. Do you know how to scan a PDF using the copier? If not, check out this video real quick. I have these two worksheets. I want to make into a PDF so I can use digitally. So what I do is I'm going to put in the copy machine. I'm going to scan my badge. And you'll see what comes up. Different options. I'm going to click on scan. I'm going to email myself. And then just hit start. They will come directly to me, and I'm all set. I can log off. So I've scanned my document in the copier, and now I received an email. So there are two ways to get your document now into your Google Drive, and that's where you want to put it because you want it to live there so it's organized so you can access it later. You can hover over this, and you'll see there's a download or add to drive. Or if you click on it, you'll see up here in the top, there's the add to drive shortcut or the download. Either one works. So what I like to do is I like to just go right here, add to drive, and then click organize because then I can put it in the folder I want it to live in. So I want this to live in my Kami folder. If you clicked it already, which I did, it's going to just be in your drive. So you can click here and then organize it from your drive. At least you know it's there when you click on it. and it will show you. Let's see, where'd it go? Maybe. There it is. It's highlighted. So now I'm just going to open up my table of contents on the left because my files go on forever. And I'm going to put it in my Kami file right where I want it. It's right here. I'm going to put it in Kami. I'm going to move it. You also may want to, now that I'm going to click on Kami, you also may want to rename it just so it's not that SK whatever, which is what the printer does. So I am going to, you can see there's the date because it's March 9th, right? So I'm going to right click and I'm going to click rename and I'm going to name it Energy Worksheet and Questions PDF. Then I know exactly what it's called. Now that I have the documents that I want to use in Kami, the PDF, it's an easy place to start. Let's jump right in. I'm going to click on the Kami extension, just like I had before, and I should already be logged in, right? I didn't have to log in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open from Google Drive. I'm going to find the assignment that I just posted. Here it is. So I'll select that and it's going to open in Kami. Now, the first thing that pops up says recognize text. It seems like a scanned PDF. It is. Would you like to add text? So you're going to want to run OCR, optical character recognition. What that means is that even though I scan this, and usually with scanned PDFs, you can't highlight them, Kami has the ability to make it so you can highlight, copy, paste, and do all those things. Now watch. Now I can highlight the text and it actually reads it, which is an awesome feature of Kami. All right, so let's start with the toolbar. The toolbar is the black bar that appears on my left side here. I'm going to hide this down here. You can toggle the sidebar by clicking up here. You can open it and close it, and we'll get into that in a second. But from the toolbar, there are a lot of different things you can use. The first one is select. That's the one you want on when you are highlighting, dragging, the hand tool. You can select annotations, that sort of thing. The second thing is the dictionary. The dictionary allows kids to double click on a word that they don't know, and it tells them the definition of that word. So this is really helpful in like science class or social studies, maybe even ELA, when they're reading and they're like, oh, what is this word? Molecules. They can click on the word and it'll tell them exactly the definition. Now, be aware that you can turn some of these features off when you post things in Google Classroom. So no worries there from the teacher side. But the dictionary is a very cool tool. The next is text to speech. Now, as a former special ed teacher, I absolutely love this because I can copy and share a document with a student. And then what they can do is they can have it read to them. So let's say they highlight and they want to. So you can hear it's kind of reading. I don't know how the sound is coming through, but there's lots of different voices you can use. If a student speaks in a different language, you can choose the language that you want it to be read in. And what it does is it doesn't translate. But if you give it a Spanish or French text and you choose the Spanish or French, it will read it with that dialect, which it'll read the French with a French dialect. It'll read the Spanish with a Spanish dialect or accent. Sorry if I got that wrong there, language teachers. But hopefully you understand. Right there, I can click on things and it reads just those parts. It's easy to stop. You can go back, previous sentence. You can loop it so it just reads the same sentence over and over. And you can change the speed if it's too fast. Finally, as a special ed teacher, the other thing I really like is that as it's reading it, it highlights the whole sentence, but it does a highlight over the word that it's reading at that time. That's a cool feature for accessibility. Next is markup. So markup is really nice if you're going to have kids highlight a text, you're going to have them annotate a text, make notes on a text. So let's say I want to use the text highlighter and I want to use orange. So I can click on more colors, orange, and hit save. So now I have orange. So, oh, I don't know why it doesn't like me up here, but here we go. I highlighted it. So this now saves to my work. And if I have this shared like in a Google Doc, if I have it shared with someone else, they will automatically see my changes as they're looking at it on theirs as well. It can be view only or it can be shared so they can make changes as well. So another feature here is the box highlighter. Let's say you want to like highlight an image or just a whole big part. You can do this. There you go. It just boxes it. You can do a little, don't forget your name, that sort of thing. You can make it green because luckily Irish, it's almost St. Patty's Day right now. So that's the box highlighter. Strike through is just what it sounds like. It allows you to highlight and then add a line through those words. And finally, underline, again, just what it sounds like. You're going to highlight, it's going to add an underline to that text. Now remember, this was a scanned PDF, but because I ran the OCR, I am now able to recognize the text, all right? So that's the markup features. Again, if you want to change the colors, you can just hover, you can change them here, whatever you need. The next feature, also really cool for accessibility and helping to reach kids, is the comment features. Now, you have regular text comments, right? Where you can highlight, and I can leave text. This is the title. Hit enter. Now, another cool thing about that is that you can use your voice to type it. So let's say I have a student who wants to leave a typed text, a typed comment, a text comment, but they want to use their voice to type it, or you do because you have a lot of them. Make sure to add all the details. Hit stop. The first time you use this, you will have to allow your camera and microphone, just so you know, for Cami, and that's okay. So now there's my text comment. The next one is a voice comment. Voice comments are awesome for kids if they're struggling readers, or if you're using this for foreign language, you can actually leave voice comments so they can hear how the words are supposed to sound. So I am going to leave a voice comment here. One of the basic laws of science is called the law of conservation of energy. Now, my picture's in the way, but there is my comment. Now, if I was to click anywhere else, it would automatically make another comment. So I'm going to click on select just to bring back my select key, and now we can listen to it. One of the basic laws of science is called the law of conservation of energy. Now, this is really cool if you have a kid who has something on their IEP where they need directions read and you're not there for them. So you can read the directions and leave it. This is awesome for foreign language because you can read things. It's also awesome just to leave feedback. If you're grading, the kids love to hear your voice. And the kids can leave these audio comments. They can go in and say something when maybe they struggle getting things written down on paper. Now the kids can leave their own comments on their voice, which is just such a great feature. So let's look at the other type of comment, a video comment. Now this won't work because I am using Screencastify right now, but basically the video comment, what it does is when I click it, it's going to allow me to highlight and then, oh, it is going to work, picture in picture. So I'm leaving a video comment. Make sure you read this last paragraph here on this page. There's a lot of information in here you're going to need. So I hit done. Now my kids can actually see my face. They don't just hear me, but see me. Oh, it is going to work. So there you go. What an awesome feature for our kids to have. Next video I want to make you, I'm actually now making with Cami. Now I love Screencastify because it gives me the editing software and gives me options to jump all around. But did you know Cami also has a screen sharing? So right now, if I scroll down, I can show you, hey guys, I love that you went through and highlighted all this, but at the end here, you left off your questions. You never answer them. So please don't forget to do that. So they can see me in the bottom corner. They can see exactly what I'm doing on here. And then I can share it with them that way. Now, the video comment feature is really cool and the screen sharing is awesome. The thing that separates it from Screencastify is you can only do it in Kami and you can only do it over Kami documents. Also, I haven't figured out a way to save them yet. So, for example, here is my screen share. If you can see, if I hit play, it starts talking. And the next video I want to make, so I would have to tell the kids to make it large like this, so then they can see it. There's a lot of Lancy there. I know, I'm sorry. So there's still some things with it, but if you wanted to leave quick feedback for students, like on grading or just feedback in general, or they want to show you exactly how they're thinking, it's a nice feature to have where they can do a actual screen capture. If you see right here, this little button, that is the actual screen capture right there. So these little buttons, they can change different colors, all that stuff, okay? So that is the different comments: text, voice, video, or a screen capture. The next one I'm going to show you is the text box. So for answering questions like the multiple choice here, kids can use the markup. They can use the box highlighter. They can do something like this and highlight their answer, right? But let's say you wanted to give them questions where they have to actually write text. So if they click on text box, they can again change the color, change the size. All they need to do is they need to go over and click and write something. So let's see. I added another one. You can also add things to it, like add another question. There we go. So the kids can then see that. Hit select. Now that's right on there. So they can add questions. You can type questions. It's pretty cool. The equation tool, math teachers, you may want to do this. There's a lot of different symbols you can use. Obviously, you can search for symbols. There you go. And you can click them. They can go in different colors, whatever you need to add. Drawing tool is nice for if you have a tablet, or a lot of the kids, a lot of the teachers have touch Chromebooks now. So you can change the thickness of the line. You can change the transparency, this being like almost see-through, this being a lot darker. Let's say I want to do blue, right? You can see I can do a swirly. If you hold the shift key down, it makes it a straight line, which I'm holding the shift right now, which is really great. Hold on, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Shift and pull. That's really awesome for math teachers if you're making graphs. You want it to be a perfectly straight line. Hold shift and then click. There it is. So hold shift and then click, and you'll get a perfectly straight line. All right, so that's the drawing tool. With shapes, you can make different shapes: rectangle, ellipse or circle, triangle, or just a line that way. Again, you can change the color, you can change the transparency, you can change the stroke thickness. And finally, the eraser tool. The eraser tool allows you to do drawings and shapes or all annotations. Now, if you click on all annotations accidentally, and it just clicks there, it's going to erase everything in that area, see? Or drawings and shapes, see, there's no drawings here. That's just, it only does things that are from drawing shapes. This one is any annotation. So I can now click here. For some reason, it doesn't like me now. It's not erasing, but you get the idea. And finally, add media. Now, adding media to your PDFs that you already have, maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. But really cool features of adding media is, let's say you want to add a video or an activity at the end. When you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see this plus. Hit add more pages. You can choose to add as many pages as you want. You can choose the type of page. There's lined pages for writing, there's grid pages for math, and there's even music sheets. So if you're a music teacher and you want to add some music, I'm just going to add a blank page for now. I'm going to add it at the bottom. And what I can do is I can add any media I already have from my Google Drive, or, here we go, there it is, or I can add other stuff. So let's see. I can add from my computer, which is your Google Drive. You can search Google Image Search. So if I click that, Let's say I want an image of the laws of energy. Oh, here we go. That's a good one. I'm going to put that in there. Now I can click to drop it. I'm going to put it right here. And you'll see this is a GIF, which means it's a moving image. When I hover over it, I can make it bigger, smaller. I can crop it. Now I have this. I can add a question with a text box. Oops, text box. And right here. There we go. I'll make it a little bigger. Oops. In the box below. Now, then I can add a box for students to write their answer in. I'm going to make it blue because it's my favorite color. There we go. And next, I want the kids to watch a video, and I want them to take notes on the video while they're watching it. Now, it does pull from YouTube. You have to search the exact name of something you have. So if you have a video that you already like, just copy and paste the name into here, and you should be able to figure it out. Let's see. I'm going to put this one. It loads. It's going to upload the video, and then it's going to hit insert. Now again, drag and drop. I can click it. I can make the video a little bigger for kids to watch. And then I can add, the kids can add a text box on the side. Take notes on the video. Write down 3 cool facts you learned. Now, you may say like, well, what's the big deal? I can just share a video with them and they can just do it on their Chromebooks or whatever. But I don't know if teachers realize this, but when students watch a video on their Chromebooks on YouTube, that it's hard to watch a video and take notes at the same time. You either have to take notes on paper because the video is up on your computer, or you have to watch the video on a different device. This allows you to watch the video directly here while taking notes. So I can create a text box here, hit play.
So we finally come to that part, which is at the same time both interesting and challenging to discuss. If I were to tell you, right, that batsman...
The video plays directly in this activity that I created. So the kids don't have to go anywhere else. Like, I don't have to click a link to go to YouTube. It's right there. It stays right in this Kami document, which is so cool. Finally, the other thing that Kami just started offering, which is kind of fun, is they have digital stickers. So if the kids do a really good job, they answered all the questions, they're doing great, you can take these stickers, click on the one you want, and drop it. You rock. There you go. And then the kids get a little extra feedback on their work. They see the cute digital sticker, and everybody loves a good digital sticker. Now that I've given you a quick rundown of the toolbar, let's talk about the menu bar at the top. So the menu bar is this blue bar that goes all the way along the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each of the things with you up there. First thing you'll see is it says Kami, right? That's what I'm in right now. Whenever I want to get to Kami, I can just click on it. I'm not going to right now because I'm pretty happy where I am. The next thing you see is our education license. If you're using this at school, you should have EDU written there. If you don't, please reach out to me or Josh Finn so we can hook you up. Next is the sidebar. Now, the sidebar hides a lot of really cool features that people don't know exist. So when I click on it, you'll see it opens up over to the left. And right here, you'll see there's pictures of my pages, kind of like a preview. It's like a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation over here on the left. These little numbers here mean how many comments or annotations or markups are on each page, which could be really helpful if you're going through and seeing how many things kids are doing to their work. You can go through and you can click on this bubble right here, and it's called the annotation summary. Now this gives me an exact summary of what is on each page. So really, I could just go through here and look really quickly to see what kids are writing, what they underlined. Here's an audio comment that was made. There's the image right here. So that's a pretty cool feature. To get back to the preview of the pages, just click on these squares here. And next is the annotation bank. You can click on this. It's a beta feature, so we don't necessarily have it yet, but if you go into your settings, which I'm going to show you in a minute, you can add some annotations in there that you can use over and over. So again, that is in the toggle sidebar. The next thing is to find and document. Sometimes you'll have a PDF that's super long and you want to find something specific. If you click on find and document, you can search for that word. Well, here I look for potential energy, highlight all, I can search within comments, I can match within the case, and you'll see there's one here and, well, there's two, right? Right here, potential and potential. So that's how I can search within the document. This right here is my Google Drive. That's where I'm attached to. That's what everyone should be using. This is the name of the file right here, and this is the folder it's in. If I want to move it from in my Google Drive, I can do that, directly from Kami. I don't actually have to go into Google Drive. I can click there and search around in the murky waters of my Google Drive and try and find the new place for it. I'm not going to, so I'm going to hit cancel. Again, here's the name of it. This is my zoom in and out. So if I have something that's kind of small, or if I want to focus like on a question, just one question, there we go. I can do that and it zooms right in. You can go back to 100. There's automatic width, all that. This one right here, I can open a new file. So if I click on it, I can open something from my computer, shared file, Google Drive, all these different things. It also gives me my recent files. So things I've been using recently. All right, next is the share button. Now, the share button is super awesome because it allows you to share things with your students, with other educators, and gives you options like they do in Google. So right here is my link, right? That's my share link. I can change it to it usually comes up, the default is restricted, which is great, which means nobody can look at it, nobody can see it unless I give them permission. So if I turn on anyone with the link and I turn on viewer, what that means is if I share this Kami document with any of my students or another teacher or whatever, by copying this and emailing it to them or posting it on Google Classroom or posting it in the chat of a Meet, they can then see everything I'm doing on my Kami document, like an interactive whiteboard. If you're brave and you want to give them access to edit it as well, so you have small groups, you want the kids to be able to work on something together, you can change it to editor, or you can create individual copies. It's just like in Google Classroom. I'm going to keep it as viewer for this. Finally, down here, it says download and print permission. You can allow people to download and print the file and use it, or you can say no, and it will not give them that option to download it. You can also then open your Google Drive settings and share it that way. All right, so if you're more comfortable just sharing it from Google Drive, just click on that button at the bottom and you can do it that way. So again, that's the share button. Print, you can print the document, original, my pages, my 2 pages without any annotations, or I can print with annotations. So it'll print with my annotations on there. The save button, I'm going to show you how to keep it so it automatically saves. Mine is set to auto save, but let's say I do some things and maybe my internet's being spotty and I know I'm going to hit save now because the last it was saved was 3 minutes ago. Oh, it's right here. You can see auto save. So if you want to save it as is, right when you finish, go into save and hit save now. I definitely recommend doing the auto save. You can download it as is, and there's the export button there too. So here's the download. You can export it to your computer, which is Drive, Google Drive. You can decide to do it with no annotations, with annotations, or annotations only. You can do all sorts of stuff here. You can rename it, all the pages, only the annotated pages, flatten annotations. I don't even know what that means. So I'm going to click on the arrow and see. Oh, okay. So you can do like a normal export or flatten. You can see here an example of non-flattened is on top, but flattened over here, it kind of sets it out to the side. So that might be something you want to do. And when you hit begin export, it's going to bring up the files for you to find it. This is your help button. Kami has been wonderful with helping me. If I have questions, I automatically go there and somebody gets back to me within 24 hours. So you can see here, they have a YouTube, they have a Twitter, they have Facebook, they have an educators group on Facebook, which is amazing. There are keyboard shortcuts that are super helpful. I'm not going to go into it, but if you're somebody who likes using shortcuts, definitely check those out. The menu right here. All right, now this menu is great because it gives me so many other options. Let's look here. Split and merge document. Did you know that Kami allows you to split PDFs that you have or merge PDFs together and like Google Slides and all that stuff? So if you have a couple different assignments where you like one page out of this and one page out of this, you can click on the split and merge and it's going to process the document. And what you can do here is I can drag and drop what I want to use. I can add more stuff, right? I don't know what some of this stuff is. All right, put that in there. So I have these documents. They're loading. Here we go. Those are the ones I want. Now you can see here's my 3 pages of the energy worksheet. Here's the 5 scaffolds. I want this, the one is energy. I want to make my page come next. And then I want to put the scaffolds here and then this, right? So now I can export it and it'll turn into one Kami document. It's such a cool feature to use. OCR, remember that's the optical character recognition. If you have a scanned document and when it came up and it said, do you want to run OCR? And you were like, no, I'm good. I don't need to do that. And you're like, oh shoot, I totally need to do that. You can always go into this menu bar and hit OCR and it'll then run the optical character recognition and allow you to highlight and copy text and highlight and all that stuff. Here you have your document properties, notification settings. You can create a Google Classroom assignment directly from Kami. So now that I've finished this, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to send this to kids. I can click right here. I am going to show you how to do it from Google Classroom though. Once you have the extension installed, it automatically pops up on your create button. You can go to the last page. Here I am on the last page. If I want to jump to a certain page, if I have like a document that's really long, I can do that. You can restore annotations, delete all within one. Remember, there's always Control Z. Rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. So let me add a page here. One of the reasons I've seen people do this is because they'll add a document in here that might be sideways and they'll want the kids to color in the map or something, right? So let's see if I can go into media. I don't think this is what I want. This is what I want. So let's say I have a map and I hit select, but the map comes in and it's sideways, right? Let's say the map looks like this because I want it to fill up the whole page. And if it was the other way, it wouldn't fill up the whole page. Now, this is a little, whatever, it's not that great, but you get the idea. And I tell the kids on this page that I want them to color in the 13 colonies, the original 13 colonies. Well, I don't want the kids to sit here like this, or like this rather. So what they can do is they can go here to the menu and they can rotate it, just this. And then they can take their drawing, go here, and they're gonna color in the first third, right? This is a really terrible job, I'm sorry. But you get the idea. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rotate it back. So there, I was able to, just with a couple clicks, rotate it and then come back and not have to worry about the other pages, right? The next one is 1-page view, 2-page view. If you have multiple pages and you wanna look at them all at once, you can do that. Presentation mode takes up the whole screen. You can see exactly what they're looking at. Escape to get out of that. Go back to 1-page view. And then hide comments, which obviously hides comments, and undo and redo. Make sure I'm in my select because you don't want to just be drawing all over. Finally, I'm going to click over here. You can see that it does give you some options. There's a new dark mode setting that I actually prefer, and I keep it on all the time. But for this training, I've been using the light mode because that's what's default. But if you have kids that are looking at Chromebooks all day, or you're looking at your Chromebook all day, turning it to dark mode is really helpful to reduce eye strain. So again, that's clicking on your name right here, turning on dark mode. Here's your license dashboard. If you don't have the EDU, that's where we're going to send you. And here are your settings. So this can be helpful if you have logged in at home, and let's say you have a personal account at home, but you're logged in with your Homer account. If you have a primary Google account, it should be your @Homer Central. So if for some reason you have your personal and your professional online, and it's coming up here as different than @Homer Central, that might be why it's not giving you the free code. But again, you can see down here your settings. You can change your theme. You can get a newsletter. You can automatically have your files load right up in Kami. This is where I have my automatically save my changes to Google Drive, all that good stuff. So you can see here I have 5 current active sessions. Here are some other features, beta features that you can use. Here's that annotation bank I was talking about. So if you're interested in that, that's where you would turn it on. So that right there, oh, and finally, that's how you would log out. So from there, that's what Kami looks like inside of the Kami platform. Now that I've gone over the basics of Kami itself, let's talk about how you can integrate it with Google Classroom. So here I am in my Google Classroom. I'm going to click on Classwork. Now, because I have the Kami extension installed over here, when I hit Create, there will be a Kami assignment. So I click there, and it's going to create a Google Classroom Kami assignment. Now, this might look a little bit different than my regular Google Classroom. First of all, remember, I have dark mode on, so it has the dark whatever, but it's going to have all the same features as Google Classroom. So I'm going to post this in my class. I'm just going to post it to one student. If I wanted to, and this is something that people ask me about a lot, I can click on feature restrictions and I can turn some things off or all the things off. Let's say I don't want the kids to be able to have access to the dictionary. I don't want them to have access to text to speech because this is an actual reading assessment or I'm looking for comprehension. All you have to do is unclick these features and they will go away. All right. So whatever you do not want them to have access to, you can click and hit OK, and that will restrict those features. Just like in a Google Classroom assignment, I would put directions, the title. I'm going to do points if it's going to be worth anything. This one is ungraded. No due date. I'm going to schedule it now. I can put it under a topic. Yep. And then from here, I'm going to choose my Google Drive. Now, it might need you to accept the permissions, and that's fine. Let me move myself over here. It's taking a really long time. So when that happens, I'm going to exit out here, and I'm going to click on this. This takes me to the File Explorer, which loads a lot faster. So let's see. Oh, here it is. I'm going to do the maze. So now I've attached the file I want. You can make a copy for each student, so everyone has their own copy. The students all share one copy, or they cannot edit it. They can just see it, right? You don't have to send the instructions to students. That just comes as another PDF that they can read. And add links to open with Kami. You don't have to worry about that either because the kids have the option to open it with Kami. I'm going to hit Assign. You can see it turn green. It's uploading. And here we go. So here I am in Classroom. It opened a new tab. You can see up here. And here is the maze that I sent. So now if I log in, now I'm logged in as my son, Lucian. I'm going to click on Classwork. And here I can see complete this, please. Here is the assignment. So he can click right on it. And what it does is it brings up a preview. So what he needs to do is click on Open with Kami. You can see it would open with Kami. All right. And he would be able to write on it. Remember, if it's sideways, He can rotate it. He can not. I took away the signature and I took away the dictionary and speak to text. So he doesn't have access to those. Let's see, where's the drawing tool? So from here, he can draw and try and get Cami to his bone. When he's done, I know this is a Google Classroom assignment because up here on the right, you can see it says turn in. So all he has to do is hit turn in. Lucian Collins. Oh, there's one unsaved change, so he'll want to make sure he saves now. He'll hit turn in. Let's see what it looks like on his end and on my end, right? So it's turning in right now. But from my side, so now I'm back in my side, I go into view assignment. And what I can see is he turned it in. If I click on student work, there's his work, there's his writing. I can add private comments here. I can grade it with Cami, which just opens it into Cami and then allows me to leave those different voice comments, video comments, whatever I need to do. And then the kids have access to it. I just need to make sure I hit return. So using Cami with Google Classroom is pretty easy too. And the kids have been using it a lot more. So that's been really helpful as well in other classes. There we go. So that was a quick Google Classroom picture of Cami. Finally, I want to leave you with this. If you still have more questions with Cami, you can always reach out to me. But remember, on my website, Integration, www.tinyurl.com/integration, under educator resources are all of my how-to printables, but also I have all my Cami user handbooks and everything. The user's handbook is put out by Cami. It is 48 pages long, and it was updated in August of 2020. Lots of great stuff in there. The Cami 101 document that I have listed is the one that I made, and this is just a quick overview of how to use Cami. And finally, Cami in Google Classroom. This is something that I created just to help teachers get their Google Classroom and Cami together. It's printable. It's pretty easy to follow. It gives you the teacher side and the student side. It's meant to be shared with students if you need to. If not, it helps you see what they need to do. So from there, if you have any other questions about Cami, please reach out. Please let me know. You can always reach me by my email at FancyLancy at Twitter or on my website, Integration.